want to watch Harry Potter again.
Alright guys, so we better start this soon because Danny wants to watch Harry Potter and he still is alive. He didn't get burnt down from the last video as you heard the fire alarm. So,
hooray.
What up guys, it is Justice here. Welcome to the second podcast of my channel. I hope you enjoyed the first one which covered the May combat beta changes. Again, I'll leave a link in that in the description and at the end of this video. Welcome to the second podcast. This is going to cover the boss changes in terms of necks, Dagonoth Kings, Kalphite King, QBD, and the God Wars dungeon bosses in terms of Saradomin, Bandos, and I think Zamorak's also included. No, Armadyl. Zamorak isn't included on this for some reason. I don't know where that's a glitch in the post, but we're going to head into this podcast. Again, I've got Danny here with me, which is L Bomb Tank, and I've got Ash here with me, who is Omniwand. No, sorry, is it? What's Petal Riot? Petal Riot, that's the one. So again, we're going to start off with Nex as the boss. If you want to hear about these two guys, Danny and Ash, in terms of their playstyles, watch the first podcast again. They go through their playstyles and what their goals are in the game. We're going to kickstart this episode off with Nex. The changes with Nex, it seems to be buffed again. So there was a buff fairly recently, I'd say within the past couple of months or so, where now Nex basically switches between the defense styles. So when her wings change color, for example, she'll deflect range hits, for example, or deflect mage hits or melee hits. I think that's right. Ash is more of an expert on Nex. As you can tell, I don't really Nex, so but we're going to go into how it's been buffed. For example, the main tank, for some of her multi-target hits, I don't know which ones they are going to be, but takes 50% more damage. That's just the main tank who Nex is focused on. The damage from smoke bullets and shadow smash and ice prisons are all increased. Blood phase sacrifice counter reduced by 1, making this 4 attacks until she begins to siphon, allowing Nex to actually cycle attacks in the phase slightly faster. And wrath on death damage increased to be potent once again. So I don't know what that means. Potentially you can get KO'd if you're within that space where Nex dies. So I'll start off with Ash on this one because he is probably the expert out of the three of us in terms of Nexing. So Ash, what are your thoughts on this update?
It's mainly a buff to Nex because Nex hammers are really low in price, but they just aren't as useful as before. Before they were the best gear in game by a mile. Now we got tier 90 gear, which is very low in price because of NGs just come into the game faster than they go out. Because of stuff like Serenic, everyone's going for Night Knight Slayer, so they get a lot of Serenic pieces. Malevolent is the most fastest NG to collect
with Rise 6, yep.
Yeah, and people do Vargo a lot, so yeah. The buffs, the main buff is probably the blood phase is now shorter, which is kind of I don't know. It's to stop soloing.
Yeah, potentially. Soloers are going to be raging right now, but
then again, it's with ability queuing. When that come out, it made the what you call it, soloing blood phase really fast with ability queuing because you fire abilities off like left, right, and center.
It gives you that extra 20-30% DPS, doesn't it, when you ability queue? So.
Yeah, you skip the cooldown of in between basics.
Yeah.
What else is it? Damage from ice prison has been increased. That may stop soloing, but then again, I'm pretty sure you could just either use barricade or just tank the what you call it, the 7. I think it can hit a maximum 7k at the moment. Maybe increase to 8-9k. Still can be tanked. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so.
The wrath on death, it can easily be avoided. It always has been, always will. That's not really a buff.
Unless you're leeching and AFK. And you're like, shit.
I'm not sure how Nex is going to decide the main tank. If it's decided on whoever votes it, I guess basically whoever's tanking don't vote it. Just put the insight on so it doesn't. There may be a glitch around it, but if the main tank takes 50% more damage, that may hurt. But at the same time, it won't because of the main damage you get from Nex is probably from Zara's phase and ice prisons. And ice prison can be what you call it, barricaded, and Zara's phase is devotion, prey mage, pretty much. With a good team, you're easy. It won't affect it that much in a good Nex team. Solos, yes. You maybe use more food, maybe only have to do 2 solos per trip.
It'll take longer, yeah.
But the changes, I don't know what they're trying to do with it. Nex armors will not go up in price because of tier 90 gear costs
so cheap.
It's so cheap. It's just because of what I found out is Nex armors degrade if you're in combat, and what counts as if you're in combat is when you I don't know, anticipation, you go into like a combat stance, your Virtus degrades even if you do that, even if you're not attacking stuff. So,
yeah, so tier 90 is just when you absorb damage. So
yeah,
and it's what, 60k damage or something? I don't know.
It's 60 hits, and when you're
60,
when you're DPS and Virago, DPS does not get hit at all. Apart from, I guess, Green Bomb Week and Vitalis, but apart from that, it's actually cheaper to use Tectonic than Virtus. So
yeah, and again, you're only going to be using that if you're DPSing. So you're not going to be taking as many hits, are you?
No.
Maybe Rise of the Six, obviously, it's going to smash it down quite a bit. But when you're Viragoing, it's not really going to affect it much with that. Danny, do you have anything to add in terms of the next buffs?
Nope, I think Ash covered it all, to be honest with you.
Ash covered way more than I thought he was going to cover. That was pretty awesome.
I would say at the moment they're not really being clear about certain aspects, like, for example, the mate tank or multi-target attacks. Yeah. It's kind of like, what is that going to really do with next? But it does seem as a general thing that it is going to buff it. And with ability queuing, though, I don't really think it's going to be that noticeable of a buff.
It won't be in teams, It won't be in teams because, again, but you've got to master ability queuing, guys. That's a big, it was a big update when that came out. Not many people really used it. Not many people understood how good it was. It's definitely getting more out there now in the PVM community, I find. More people are using it to DPS. Again, it's not absolutely vital at Virago, for example. It's not absolutely needed. But when you're in smaller teams, it does make that difference. You'll speed up phase 5s, things like that. So, ability queuing, definitely start learning that, guys. Definitely worthwhile to do that. Now I'd say go on to the next box. We'll go on to Dagonoth Kings, the Archer Ring nerf in price, but we won't go into that too much depth. Obviously that was a glitch in programming. But DKs, the Dagonoth Kings are now far more accurate and hit harder. However, 95% of the damage can be blocked by praying the correct style against them, which at the moment that's how it is in the OC. 95% of the damage can be blocked by praying the correct style. However, the big change here is that they are going to hit more accurate and hit harder. Again, no specifics, but potentially going back to how it used to be. Danny, do you want to focus on this?
I do actually think this would be an important update, because it does seem now at the moment that it's like you can pretty much soul split against all 3 of the Dagonoth Kings, and you won't take near enough any damage that it should. So the fact that it says it's hitting accurate and harder is taking it back to what it used to be like. There are some videos on 07scape now where you see them like getting attacked by Prime without Prey Mage, and they're getting hit like 50s and that, which is half their HP. In the EOC now, even though they are hitting quite hard and fairly accurate, they're still only hitting like max, 1.5k, 2k, which is nothing. You can just soul split that straight back.
Yep, I agree.
Whereas I think if it is like you need the correct prayer against them, I do think it's going to make it, albeit not much, but it is going to make it a bit more tactical. You can't just sit there and go, oh, Revolution Herder, watch a film while slaying DKs. But I do think it's not going to be that big of an update in terms of actually changing the boss, and it's not really going to devalue anything or make any of the prices rise.
No, again, I don't think it's going to affect the prices or anything or the economy. I think tactical was a good word you used there. I think it's going to bring back that tactical aspect to PVMing. At the moment, it is ability focused now, EOC and everything. Tactics, again, there are a lot of tactics and high level bosses, but DKs, I have seen people soul split, and I've been there soloing and I've been able to soul split, and I'm no expert there. So, to be able to soul split all 3 DKs when you go in there or whatever, I don't think that should be possible. When you, like you said, we watch 07 videos, people are getting like half their HP. Half of our HP when you've got good armor is like 5,000 damage, or 4,000 damage, and they're not hitting that. So will they be getting to that? If they are, then that's going to be a scary moment. That's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. A lot of risking. Don't go there, Amy man, if you're listening to this, because you're going to DC.
Love you, Julius.
If you've got bad internet connection, maybe don't go there. So, or have a friend on the ready. But yeah, that's enough about DKs. I think it is going to change, hopefully for the better, and it might make it more fun and bring those 3 bosses back alive within the EOC. So now, next boss I'll focus on is the Kalphite King. So, To go around what's changed here, according to the forum post by Mod Harrison, when the Kalphite King spawns, it can now randomly choose what to start with. Now, firstly, I'm just going to mention massing. Again, you guys can expand within that. An issue with stunning the Kalphite King too much, causing a double green effect. Many of you guys who probably KK a lot will understand what this is. It kills the voker instantly, and then it potentially regreens someone else. Or if you're constantly stunning KK, for example, in the live game, it'll reset the cycle of that attack, and then obviously if you've devotioned or whatever, it'll run out and then you get KO'd at 26k damage. Obviously that'll just instantly kill you. So this has potentially been resolved. I love how they say potentially, so it's like potentially it's been resolved, but we're not quite sure. So yeah, that's quite interesting. But Ash has raised a good point that stunning has actually been removed on the beta, so really not sure what they're getting at with this comment. Next one is lower damage from minions spawning in the area. That's a nerf actually, and they really do piss me off when that happens, so that's quite good. But again, if you time it right, you use escape, don't even get out of it. But I don't know, I'll let Ash go into this in depth with the KK. Do you want to kickstart this topic, Mick?
Yes. The issue is basically when you stun it way too much or instantly do its attack, because it skips all his other attacks, which I guess it wasn't intended, but they're getting rid of stuns. The fix 8 is only going to be single stuns from a new ability. That's how it is in the beta, so it doesn't really matter. And it's minion spawns. Yes, minion spawns were very deadly, especially when you get 2 of them on one you, because they can easy hit 2Ks. So that's a 4K damage in one hit.
Yeah, I'm a KK noob. I usually get killed by that.
Yeah,
no one warns me. God damn it.
Yeah, a lot of people get. Yeah, you know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's that HP, isn't it?
You'll get the LP,
and you get stunned, don't you?
Yeah, you get stunned.
Yeah.
This is gonna make I don't know. The whole switch in phases when it spawns as well. I forgot to mention that.
The massing.
This is gonna stop people from, at the moment, people just use seismics or sunshine, or use thresholds where magic the fix 8 and KK dies.
Yep.
And it makes Dragons really devalued in price when they are the best melee weapon in game. I'm guessing you can store mass because of you just have to bring your Dragons and Ascensions now as well, which is a downside for some people because they don't like risking a lot of stuff. But then again,
and if you die a lot of KK, well, you can.
I guess it's not going to be really worth bringing armor switches now. So basically, you're going to use stuff like hybrid armor, maybe be more beneficial. Stuff like War Priest that doesn't degrade. So
yeah, good comment.
Or people bring Void, because Void doesn't degrade.
Yeah, Voidscape, everybody.
Voidscape in the beta, unless you get really hit hard. I'm not sure.
Well, they've not said that. They're not buffing KK's attacks.
No, but at the moment, minions really hit you with 500 blood damage. Magic damage, I won't call it blood damage. So it really hits hard. So I'm not sure. It's definitely possible to use Void there. It's just not in speed kills, because speed kills the main problem with speed kills is the minion spawns, and if they're nerfing that just makes speed kills even more faster.
Yeah, true. All right, so we'll go on to the next topic of Bandos, Armadyl, and Saradomin God War's Dungeon. They've not included Zamorak there, so I don't know whether they're supposed to, but Bandos, Armadyl, and Saradomin have all had their main style of attack buffed significantly to match what they previously would have hit on players if they were not protecting from the main attack style. Having the correct prayer on will reduce 95% as it does now. So essentially, if you've not got the right prayer on, you're going to get raped, like you're going to get hit quite a lot supposedly. Hello, this is Justice from the future, and if you're not watching the screen, check it out now quickly, as I'm just showing a small clip of me going into Bandos Grador on the beta, and I'm going to go in without prayer just to see how it goes. So yes, let's see how this goes, guys. Entering the boss room right now, going to go and attack Grador. Here we go. Oh my god, 5 point, oh my god, I almost died. Oh my god, 500 LP. Damn. Okay, guys, you get raped. I'm not even joking. That was insane. Okay, damn. Alright, guys, I hope you enjoyed that random clip within the podcast. Now we better get back to it. So I'll carry on from where I left off. This topic's probably linking more to the mid-level PVMers who actually still go to these bosses, or potentially if you go Armadyl for Slayer tasks, things like that. I'll let Danny What are your thoughts on this? Again, we're quite high level PVMers. We don't go here much. I remember pre-EOC, these are the only bosses I used to do actually. So, but obviously EOC changed all that. What are your thoughts on this update? You know, how do you think it's going to change things?
Just briefly touching on the thing which you said before, Zamorak's not included. One reason why it might not be included is because it has that attack where it slams through your curses.
Yeah.
And it hits you for like the 3.5k. I think they might just keep that and then have that as kind of, oh, instead of having an average buff, you just take that one attack. So I think they've already sorted Zamorak out. But with the others, again, it goes on with DKs. It's essentially the same 95% of the damage blocked by the correct prayer. Bandos is easy because all it does really is melee you if it's right next to you. So that's just going to be, again, Revolution Camp, good fight.
Yep.
Armadyl, again, with a couple of magic attacks. The magic attacks don't really hit that hard. You want to really be with range prayer. So again, that one's not going to change too much. Saradomin, though, you do need to pray against. Like, you can't soul split. Well, you can soul split Saradomin, but it's very difficult to do because it uses two like attack styles which do hit quite hard. So I do think Saradomin is going to be quite a hard boss, and I wouldn't be surprised if the pieces that you get from that boss go up in price, because it is going to get a lot harder by the sounds of it.
Yep, that's a good point. It may make it more worthwhile farming there potentially. I know Scapeskill, he's a big fan of Saradomin, a huge fan of that, or used to be when he was going for the hilt. I think he spent way too long going for that hilt. I remember watching his videos, and you know, I'm sure he used to soul split it though. I'm sure he used to soul split it. I don't know whether I got that wrong, but at the moment you can get away with it. You can get away with soul splitting if you do it right, if you have the right armor on to tank it. I think it's all about the armor, and I think it might make it more worthwhile maybe wearing the right armor now in terms of tanking armor when you're at God Wars Dungeon, because at the moment you can probably still get away with wearing power, but depending on how you play it and how much you hit. But yeah, I think it's a good point. Hopefully, you know, it'll make it more worthwhile, especially again, you know, for those mid-level PVMers out there. You know, I want to make this content is bringing it back alive, maybe bringing DKs back alive potentially a bit more, and I think, you know, adding to these bosses and having a bit of focus on there, it means they're not leaving out and not thinking about the mid-level PVMers. You know, they're still including them in all these updates, which is a great thing, because again, not everyone is high level. It takes time to get there. It takes years to get there essentially, if you don't play the game loads. So next boss, the last one, is the Queen Black Dragon. So this is quite interesting. This is really interesting in my eyes. Queen Black Dragon is a very fun boss in my eyes. I absolutely love going there. It was the boss which I used to go to before going to those high level ones, especially pre-EOC. I used to go QBD a heck of a lot to make my money, to buy skills, things like that, and buy different armor sets, DFS, all that. So the updates with the Queen Black Dragon, the standard fire breath damage has been increased. There's loads of buffs with this. The head bite attack will now deal more damage. The damage taken in the side of the extremely hot flames attack, when the little message pops up at the bottom and she breathes that really hot fire, which at the moment I think can hit about 1,950, I think it is off the top of my head, if you're right in it. Now if you're the side of it, I think it's 450. The damage taken of that's going to be increased. I've not tried it yet, so I'm not sure how much that is. If you do know, write in the comment section. And the Tortured Soul's melee and special attack damage has been increased. Shouldn't be a problem if you use like chain ability on them quickly, or to be honest, they've not got that much life points, so you can probably fire breath them really easily anyway. Might not influence it that big there, but the special attack, you know, if you're unlucky and you don't move out, or you don't dodge, or if you don't know how to dodge it, you're probably going to get wrecked on the last phase if all of them spawn and you do accidentally get hit by that special attack from all 4 of them. That probably will, you know, that'll damage you quite a lot. You may be hindered there. So yeah, my opinion on it, probably a good thing. But then there are a lot of negatives around it. The good thing about it is that it does make it harder, a bit more of a challenge, and then it makes it more fun for high level PVMers. But I think mid-level PVMers here, it's hugely detrimental for them, I think, because at the moment it's about 5 to 6 mil per hour for high level, 3 to 4 mil for mid level, and then obviously low level probably aren't even going to survive it, or maybe get like 1 mil an hour. So at the moment it's decent money for those mid level PVMers who can't get into those teams for the high level bosses, maybe like Virago. I know a lot of mid levels will do Kalphite King and QBD at the moment, so QBD is another good spot as well. I think Ash mentioned around people who are learning the EOC, learning the abilities and the rotations for DPSing and things. QBD is a nice place to try that out at, because you can really see your hits, you know what you're hitting, you can practice it. It's like farming loot. And for the mid-level PVMers, it's decent money per hour, and they can get up to those Drygores or get up to different weapons to then go to better bosses. And you know, I think at the moment it's perfect for them. I think this is going to be detrimental for them. It's going to make their money per hour a lot less. It's going to make it harder for them to learn the EOC and abilities. So as a whole, I feel this might be detrimental. Ash, do you want to add to it in terms of what I've discussed and what your thoughts are?
I totally agree with you when you say it's going to be really bad for people, like mid-level people, because they do it to get their, I don't know, the first set of Drygos maybe to get Torva, Pernix, stuff that they need in like high-level bossing teams. Otherwise, people won't take them just because of the fact it's kind of needed. Yep. Yes, the buffs. I don't know, the buffs when you're high-level play, what you call it, the Tortured Souls really doesn't. What you call it, spawn on phase 4 unless you're getting really
if you're high level,
bad.
It doesn't affect you. Yeah, I usually skip them out.
No, you just kill it way too fast because you just on phase 4 you always use your ultimates, which is Sunshine / Berserk. It's mainly gonna affect the people that melee QBD, but melee and QBD is really inefficient because of the people think, oh yeah, melee's OP, I got Dragons, but if you calculate the time it takes you to run from QBD's face to the 4 pillars, you could have probably just saved half a kill by just standing in one place because of stuff like.
I found obviously seismics are dead expensive, but even Virtus Wand and Book, you know, I remember comparing Virtus Wand and Book to Drygos ages ago in one of my earliest videos. It wasn't that great a video, don't check it out, but it was about the same speed, and that was probably because of the running about and faffing about eating and stuff like that. Seismics are just mental at QBD. I did a Slayer Sundays video on it, and they were amazing speed kills there. Way better than Drygos. And, well, not way better, but it was definitely better significantly. But yeah, sorry for interrupting you, Ash. You want to carry on?
Yes, Seismics completely own it, but Seismic costs a lot, and I don't think you'll be using. If you have Seismics,
that's
you're only
high
going
level,
to do QBD.
But I think the point you mentioned about the, you know, the Torture Souls, that bit you were focusing on.
Yeah. You mainly skip it out, even if you're using stuff like. When you stand to the side, it hits 450s. I guess it's gonna hit something like 700, which is.
Oh, for the extremely hot fire breath,
you can't really negate the attack unless you like use barricade, but that's just a complete waste. And then it's just.
Oh, but the food cooldown.
Yeah, but I guess they want you to eat at QVD, but I don't know.
You get rocktails, don't you?
You get. It's a bit.
Rocktail
I don't know. It's a bit. Yeah.
I think the Torture Souls. What I liked, you focused on that. If you're a high level PVMer, right, then you're going to skip them out, so it's not going to affect you at that point. But now, think about those mid-level PVMers where you're going to get those Torture Souls at the end because they can't kill it fast enough. They are going to get even more wrecked now. For the high-level PVMers, this stuff probably ain't going to influence us that much. We may still make the same money per hour or similar to. Mid-level PVMers, this is going to impact them massively. This sort of stuff where they're already having to eat on, they're going to get wrecked, man. Danny, what do you think to QBD?
Again, going back on what Ash said earlier on, the reason like some people come to QBD is to make consistent cash, and you're not going to be able to make your first start of cash if they're just making the boss harder and harder for you, because you don't start day one with Seismic. So if you're going there with, say, Bandos Godsword or whatever, it is going to be efficient running back and two from the things, but now you've got to deal with increased, like, extremely hot flame damage, which, like you said, 2k at the moment. It could be 3 or 4k that they increase it to. That could potentially 2 hits.
Are they going to have super anti-fire as well? Do you know people who go there without? You know what I mean? With like anti-fire and shield. Do you know anyone who does that? It's probably not efficient doing that, but
yeah, it is efficient. It's not because shield nerf or DPS way too much.
Yeah,
you don't use anti-fire shield. You pray mage. You take your anti-fire apart, and you basically you switch to your anti-fire shield if you're. When the firewalls come out, you switch your anti-fire shield and run through them, or extremely hot breaths. I guess you just have to.
Yeah. So again, this is for low-level guys out there who don't have super anti-fire.
And people think, oh, QBD's hard. The price will go up. No, because the reason why you make consistent cash at QBD is from drops like Adama or Runa or stuff like that, which isn't affected by QBD. It's affected by the skiller market and the demand and supply, not. Well, I guess that is
the
Royal
Crossbow doesn't influence it that hugely.
And the Royal Crossbow is not. You can just get chaotic crossbows, or chaotic crossbows are better, or I don't know. Royal crossbow is always going to be cheap because of how easy it's to get, and the visages are really dead content. Same with dragon kites and same with dragon bone upgrade kits. That's why they're outpriced.
Yeah. It's a shame about the dragon bone up kit. Oh, also the dragon kite shield. I remember when I got, I think I got 3 of them in one trip. I was like, what the hell? I wish I did that on the first day of release. I remember RuneShark. I remember they did it on first day of release, and they did get a dragon kite shield, I think, after the first first day, I think, and they sold it for like 80 mil or something, or 100 mil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was their friend called Stay Farm. He sold it 400.
Oh well, got that completely wrong. 435 mil. Can you imagine getting 3 of them? Anyway, back then as well, a bill was worth way more than it is now as well, or a lot more anyway. So yeah, guys, just to wrap this up, it's about 25 minutes now. It's quite a long podcast. I hope you do enjoy these again. Quite insightful, different information to help you out in the game. Any comments, you know, this is the sort of video where you want to like write some in-depth constructive comments down below, and we will reply. We'll have a look at it and have a debate against each other as well of this update and what you think, just like a forum thread. But just to wrap it up, I'd like your overall opinions, guys, on this update. What do you think Jagex are trying to get at with this? It's a lot of bosses here, a lot of buffs. Ash, what do you think they're trying to get at here? And what do you think they're trying to do?
I guess they're trying to make it harder because stuff like Bandos, DKs, and not necessarily next. It's just not that much. I don't know. The items are worth way less than they used to be, and I think they're trying to make them worth more, but they're going the wrong way about it. They have to prove the usefulness of the item, not the how rare they are. Because there's too many, let's say, royal pieces in game. There's way too many royal pieces in game. That's why they're outpriced. I think they're outpriced.
They're flipping it.
Or yeah, they need to make them more useful. They need, I don't know, give the royal crossbow, I wouldn't say an effect, but like if they want to make royal crossbow pieces worth more, royal crossbow has to be better than a Zarite, well, or CCBs, which are completely free from dungeon. And same with stuff like neck sets, tier 90 gear, plus Voidscape now. Voidscape is just
Voidscape.
I guess what you call it, neck sets are still useful for Slayer because you can't use because of the Slayer helm. But apart from that, you just void all the way.
Let's void it out. But yeah, it's Voidscape now. Maybe pest control might not be as dead anymore. That might be a positive. I don't know. But anyway, you know, we are talking from a high level PVM perspective, guys, as well, remember. And I know many of you followers or subscribers are quite high level PVMers as well. There will be mid-level PVMers out there as well. And, you know, we were them one day. And, you know, it'd be nice to get your input in this. You know, definitely I want to hear from you in the comments as well. You know, if you are a mid-level, by mid-level I mean, you know, you've not got seismics or ascensions. You know, maybe you've just got Drygores or less. I'd say that's mid-level, maybe Bandos, you know, things like that. Let me know your opinions on this. How do you think it's going to influence you at QBD with what we've mentioned? Definitely mention in the comment section. Danny, what's your conceptualization on this? What do you think Jagex are getting at?
I'd have to say it's kind of a different perspective. I'd say they're going towards the more social element.
Okay.
Like it does seem like, especially with like QBD Ascension bosses, which are strictly solo bosses, they're obviously for solo people. But with this, it does seem like it's coming away from the perspective of you're just doing these bosses to solo them. Like a lot of people nowadays will solo Nex, will solo Bandos, Armadyl, Saradomin, DKs, obviously not Kalphite King anymore. But it does seem like it's going to be harder for you to solo these bosses, so it would make sense for you to take more people and to get the community more involved, because it does seem like the community nowadays is quite divided into the fact that you're either a skiller, a soloer, or like a group PVMer, and obviously they want to merge the solo and group PVMers together. That's what I'm getting from that anyway.
That's a really good point, actually, Danny. Thinking outside the box there in terms of like actually Jagex potentially are creating or trying to create and encourage more of a social PVM aspect and an environment upon the game, which I'd be definitely for. You know, I'd so be voting for that, because at the end of the day, that's like what I play this game for as well in terms of social PVM. I love the group bosses and everything, and to be honest, the next boss, there's rumors that it's going to be solo or duo, but to be honest, I just want more group bosses. They're so much more fun. You get so many more funny moments. You get TeamSpeak chats going. It's so much more fun. But let me know what you think in the comment section, guys, with regards to that opinion and Danny's opinion on creating a more social PVM environment. Now, another point in terms of legacies came out, bloody hell. Don't panic. It's not came out yet. It's on its way and it's going to be out in the summer, but Due to the whole event which happened in Jagex recently, where loads of YouTubers got invited there to Jagex and they got to try it out, loads of live streaming going on, it made me think that potentially these changes with God Wars Dungeon, specifically with those bosses, it's to work in line with Legacy again, taking it back to those days, so it'll encourage more players to come back to the game. That's also another point potentially in which God Wars Dungeon bosses have changed. It could be with regards to Legacy mode. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, I'm going to wrap this video up here, guys. 30 minutes long, a very lengthy podcast. Let me know by rating this video what you thought to it and that mini random clip within the video. If you like that sort of thing, I can add more of those clips throughout the podcast. Let me know, guys, if you watch the video, like, because I'm wondering whether I should add more clips into it, like video clips. They do take a lot longer, so that means less videos on my channel due to time constraints. But you know, let me know what you think. If it's not worth it, it's a time benefit analysis of you know, what you're getting out of the video. If you just sit there and like to listen to us whilst AFK and on RuneScape, let me know what you do when you actually watch this video. And thanks a lot for watching. Again, all your comments, write them in the comment section. We will reply. Let's get some conversations going around these boss changes, and I'll see you in my next podcast. See you later, guys. Bye. And just before I head off, guys, the spotlight video for today is the very first podcast on my channel, Combat Beta Changes. It covers a lot there. It's about 24 minutes long. Again, a nice lengthy episode for you guys when you're AFKing on RuneScape. And the previous video on my channel is the Epic PVM Clips Episode 1, introducing a very brand new series fresh onto my channel. It's to do with funny and skillful PVM clips which I've captured from my live streams on Twitch, so be sure to go and check that out. Lots of editing gone into that one, lots of different music, lots of different clips and commentating over different things, and lots of laughs as well with some friends on there, so definitely go and check that out. Also, I'm thinking with that series, if it kicks off and if it goes okay, then I'm thinking of getting you guys involved in a specific way, so you can send me your clips. I can get those clips onto those videos and commentate over them. That would be like an ambition, and any of you who watch these podcasts from start to finish, you guys are going to get that first little insight into what my plans potentially are for that series. So I hope you like the sound of that. Definitely go and check those videos out. And if you're a new viewer, by the way, great to have you on board on the channel. If you do want to subscribe and watch future content, then you can click Virago's face in the bottom left hand corner. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.